attention, but I keep everybody at a distance. If I build it, will you really come? About all these panties, but I really don't wear none. I like boys and I like girls, but I love my baby. Some may judge, but Emmanuel is still.
Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and in today's video I'm gonna talk to you about a portrait shoot that I did a few weeks ago, and that was the first time that I shot with Kodak Gold in 120, and it was also the first time that I shot portraits with it, obviously, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it. And if you've been following my work for quite some time now, I've mentioned it several times already. Kodak Gold has been my favorite film stock in 35mm for the longest time, and this 120 format is quickly becoming my favorite one to shoot in 120. I think it's tied with Lomography 400 because I can still get Lomography 400 at pretty much the same price as I'm buying Kodak Gold at, and being that it's a 400 ISO film stock, it's a bit more versatile when the lighting isn't as good. I think it will probably become my favorite one to shoot with in 120 as well, but a lot of people that I've watched on YouTube or Instagram have said that although they like shooting with Kodak Gold in 120, it's not their favorite film stock to shoot, let's say, portraits with, because they say that gold doesn't really render skin tones that well compared to something like, let's say, Portra 160 or Portra 400. And honestly, I don't agree with it. Again, this was the first shots that I did, but as you'll see in a bit, I shot with quite harsh lights, and honestly, the skin tones were alright. Maybe that would be important for you if you were doing something that was a bit more serious, like an editorial for a brand or something, but even so, I still think that this film stock holds up quite well regarding skin tones. As I've just mentioned, this was my first time shooting with Kodak Gold in 120, and this was also the first time shooting with the model that I chose for this shoot, which is Lícia. And she took care of all of her makeup, and we swapped some DMs on Instagram, and we managed to find a couple of outfits that would look cool for this shoot and for that location. So yeah, she took a bunch of accessories with her, a bunch of outfits, and we ended up using the two that we agreed on. But it's always nice when models take just a couple more outfits or a couple more options, because sometimes you wrap up the shoots quicker than you thought you would, or I don't know, sometimes things just flow and you end up shooting a lot more than you initially planned. So yeah, that was cool of her. And this was also my first time shooting with a brand new camera that I recently acquired, which is I'm gonna grab it because I was holding the box of Kodak Gold 120, but I didn't grab the camera, so 1 second. Okay, I'm back. The camera in question is my brand new BRONICA ETRS. Yay, new camera. Just gonna put it here. So yeah, this was my first time shooting Kodak Gold in 120, first time shooting in that location with this model and with my brand new BRONICA ETRS. Again, this was my first shoot with this camera, and I must say that I was quite happy with the shooting experience and the lens that I have for it, which is the 75mm 2.8, renders details and colors in a really beautiful way. And the only experience that I've had with shooting medium format was with my Lubitel 166B, and my Lubitel is a 6x6 square format camera, and this is a 6x5 camera. So the BRONICA definitely fits my shooting style more and allows me to express myself a bit better and just allows me to frame things in a different way. It just feels a bit more natural to me compared to something like 35mm or my Fuji. Like, the aspect ratio is just different. You've probably seen this camera on YouTube or Instagram or your favorite social media app, and it's quite similar to something like a Mamiya 645, so there's not a lot for me to actually say about it, like nothing new, apart from the fact that mine came with a prism viewfinder, so not the waist level viewfinder like my Lubitel 166B has. And I gotta say that the waist level viewfinders look really aesthetic on these cameras and everything, but when you're actually shooting out in the field, especially when you're shooting something like portraits, I'm saying this because if I'm shooting a landscape and if it's something that's static, I can control the scene, I've got all the time in the world. But when you're shooting portraits, like, there's someone there with you and you need to manage time and you need to be efficient as possible, and you definitely don't want to miss focus or anything like that. So yeah, this prism viewfinder was the best option for me and my workflow. And yeah, apart from a few scuffs and scratches on the viewfinder, there's nothing wrong with the camera, and I actually got it from a fellow Portuguese photographer, Paulo, and I got this camera for a bargain. So I paid 150 euros for it. Again, fucking bargain, I couldn't let it go. And I also gave him a couple of rolls that I had, so that was a banging deal. And I know it's not as cool as making a video saying that, oh, I paid $5 or £5 for it at a thrift or charity shop or anything like that, but 150 euros for a BRONICA ETRS with a prism viewfinder and a 75mm 2.8 lens. Yeah, I was quite happy with it, and I still am, as you can see, so bargain. I'll definitely talk more about the camera in a future video when I'm more comfortable using it and when I shot a bunch more rolls through it, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I just wanted to share that I got that new camera, and like, gear doesn't matter and everything, but yeah, gear doesn't matter when you buy tons of gear just because, like, the infamous gas gear acquisition syndrome. But when you do your research and you know that you're gonna buy something that's actually going to make you all like stoked to shoot, and when you get something that's going to improve your workflow and the way you just shoot, and I don't know, you get me, I'm rambling a bit as per usual. It just makes sense, and this camera makes sense for me to have it and to shoot with. Yeah, that's it. Regarding Kodak Gold, I shot 2 rolls of it, and both of them were shot at box speed, so 200 ISO. And I must say that I was quite happy with the results. I actually used a new film lab to get the rolls developed and scanned. For the longest time, I've only been developing my rolls at the lab, and I've been scanning them at home with my flatbed scanner. But for these scans in particular, I wanted them to have like a nicer quality, and obviously in the lab you can get a lot more detail than just by home scanning with a flatbed like the one I have. So again, I was quite happy with the results, the colors, the details, everything, and apart from some minor light adjustments that I had to do on Lightroom, which were my fault because I messed up metering the lights, but I didn't mess them up that much. I didn't have to make any color adjustments or sharpening adjustments, anything like that. Regarding these portraits, in this shoot I tried to play around with close-up portraits, and I think these are some of my favorite images from the day. And the model, Lícia, has already seen the photos and she said she was also really happy with them, which is something that I'm always grateful for, obviously, because you want to make sure that the talent that you're working with or the team is happy with the results. So yeah, that was awesome. And what else do I have to say? I just want to say that I've been shooting digital a lot more often in this channel, because I know I started up shooting film at the beginning of the pandemic, ages ago, but I've always been primarily a digital shooter, and with film prices ramping up, I just want to make sure that I save film for specific bodies of work that I want to produce. But with that said, I have a bunch of film in the fridge, and I'm gonna make sure that I start shooting it a lot more often, and I'm gonna bring you a lot more film content to the channel as well. And yeah, that's it. I expect those videos soon. And also I have another video lined up that should be coming out after this one, and I'm sure you're gonna like that one as well. Well, at least I hope you do. Rambling again, you know, the usual. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're still out there, drop a like on this video, as it really helps the channel and my content to be put out to a bigger audience, and someone actually might be interested in watching this video about portraits being shot on Kodak Gold. And my main goal with this channel is to grow a community, and the more people we're able to bring in and join us, the better. Also drop a comment and let me know which were your favorite images from the shoots, and consider subscribing if you wanna support my work and just be on the lookout for future uploads as well. That's it for today. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.